Yes, it's a direct indication that the agreement is collapsing. And I was explaining that the Americans are fighting against geography, whether this in the Strait of Hormuz and also the oil reserves, the natural oil reserves of this oil-rich region in the world is only 200 kilometers away from the borders of Iran. So, according to the number of SPR, the Strategic Petroleum Reserves of the United States, before the war it was 415 million, and now it is 315 million. So 100 million barrel decrease in the oil reserves of the United States shows that the time is against the interests of the United States. So this is maybe the reason that they have started a full-scale military campaign against Iran. But the point is that these are pointless firings and pointless firepower. Why? Because for closing the Strait of Hormuz, you only need to maybe launch one missile or one drone. But for reopening it, firing 20 missiles, 30 missiles, 50 missiles doesn't help, because Iran has exercised for the control of the Strait of Hormuz for more than 25 years. This is an undeniable right of Iran. Why? Because according to UNCLOS, United Nations Convention Law of the Seas, the free passage in these straits is guaranteed unless there's harmless passage. And now it's proven to any country in the world, any scholar, any politician, any people, any citizen, that at least a portion of the passages from the Strait of Hormuz have not been harmless passage. So based on UNCLOS, and also based on Article 34 of UNCLOS, which says that based on 3 items, the coastal countries in the straits can regulate the passage in the straits. These 3 factors are security, environmental issues, and traffic. So based on UNCLOS and Article 34, Iran is regulating, and also it is mentioned directly in the MOU with the United States that the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz will be under the arrangement of Iran. So attempting to open a parallel route in the southern side of the Strait of Hormuz is explicitly against MOU Article number 5. And many other articles of the MOU, as we discussed in previous programs, have been violated from the day one of the MOU signature by the United States. And definitely the time of violating agreements with Iran without paying any compensation is gone, and Iran is fully determined. And I can guarantee you that the negotiators have already risked their future political life locally in Iran. So there is not any room for them for any more concessions. Actually, there's a gigantic pressure from the public and from other political parties in Iran on the negotiators in Iran, and I do not see any room for any more concessions by them, except implementing the MOU word by word, article by article, and sentence by sentence. And this is a definite policy in Iran. And yeah, during the last 5 days, there have been consecutive attacks by the United States. Even they have been attacked to the dormitory of soldiers, infantry soldiers, and many martyrs happened. Exactly the same scenario that took place in the first day of the war to Minab, where 168 schoolgirls were slaughtered. This is the same policy, and it is destined to the same failure and to the same result. There is no benefit for these attacks for the United States, because there is not any military option for reopening the Strait of Hormuz except committing the MOU and obedience by the United States to what they have signed. People should respect their signatures. For politicians and country leaders, it is even more important to respect their own signature. Mr. Trump didn't refrain from the use of the language of threat. According to the Article 1 of the MOU, it was a clear violation of Article 1. According again to Article 1 of the MOU, they didn't respect the territorial integrity of Lebanon, and Israel didn't retreat from Lebanese territory. And the United States started a parallel route to go in an agreement with the government of Lebanon to say that, okay, it is not our job anymore because there's an agreement between Lebanese government and Israel. It was again a clear violation. It was, I mean, for dealing, you need to have goodwill. It was clearly violating Article 1, because it was mentioned that the United States and its allies, Iran and its allies, should stop war in all battlefields, including Lebanon, and in territorial integrity of Lebanon should be preserved. It means that Israel should have retreated from those occupied territories. The United States violated this article. Even in Article number 10, it was about the waiver for export of oil in Iran, weeks ago, the Treasury of the United States canceled that waiver. It was again a clear violation. In Article 11, the freezed assets, the freezed money of Iran should have been released weeks ago. They didn't do that. Another violation of the MOU for the Article 5, I said that opening a parallel route in the southern side of the Strait of Hormuz was clearly against Article 5 of the MOU, because it was written there that for the first 60 days, Iran is responsible for reopening the Strait of Hormuz without toll only. It was written that only for 60 days it's free toll. And after that, there should be the arrangements by Iran and Oman to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But the United States started a parallel route with Oman to open a corridor in the south side of the strait. It was again a
Yes,
clear
yeah.
violation of Article. I mean, this is not good to not respect your own signature.
Yeah. So, Dr. Salehi, President Donald Trump says Iran wants to settle, while Tehran continues to accuse Washington of breaking promises. You just said that Iran cannot make more concessions. So, is there like still any realistic diplomatic pathway left between the two sides?
The point is that Mr. Trump lies. Iran does not want to settle at any cost. This is a lie. I don't know why he says lies. This is a lie. Iran is committed to what it has signed, word by word, article by article. And as I said, for the moment, we do not see any room for further negotiation, or let me put it this way, we do not see any realistic room for diplomacy and negotiations, because there is always a chance for even at the peak of the war, there is a chance for negotiations. But Iran is very determined. And as I said, even the negotiators do not have the option to make more concessions, because there is a public pressure, a gigantic public pressure on them. Even in the streets, people are calling them as traitors. So there's not any room for Iran's negotiator to make more concessions. And if both parties respect their own signatures, as I said, I draw the attention of your viewers, any scholar, any politician, any person in the world who is watching us, to read this 2 pages, only 2 pages of document, 14 articles, and then anybody can understand and can decide by himself that who has violated the MOU. Because Americans believe that they will give a word, but they don't have to keep their words. This time it's different. I believe that Iran has the leverage, and Iran has reached to this conclusion that the Americans only understand the language of power. So Iran is fully determined to implement the MOU, word by word, article by article, sentence by sentence, and there is no any room for concessions from the Iranians negotiators.
So, Dr. Salehi, what do you expect from Iran in the coming days if escalation continues?
Actually, in military battlefield, in military terms, there is a response by the Iranians even during the last 5 days. I mean, many American bases, American military bases in countries of the region have become uninhabitable, according to what CNN said during the 40-day war. We have the information actually in the Iranian media that some of those military bases have been uninhabitable. This is option one for Iran. The second option is to stop the export of oil completely. If Iran is not exporting oil, nobody will. And what IRGC says is a reference or a quotation to a Strait of Hormuz. It's very important. It is a direct reference to the oil excavation and oil facilities in the region. As I said, the oil wells, the natural oil wells of the world is in this region, in the head of the Persian Gulf, eastern side of Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Iraq, etc., and Khuzestan province of Iran. So this is an oil-rich country. After millions of years, this oil is accumulated there. Even if somebody himself that, okay, we make a parallel route, a pipeline, or anything to bypass the Strait of Hormuz, the reference of IRGC is saying that if Iran is not exporting oil, nobody will. It doesn't mean that we only close the Strait of Hormuz. It means that these infrastructures in the oil facilities of the region will be gone if things get worse and Iran is not exporting oil, nobody will.